She returned with her alien mother, who shocked me with a marriage proposal. It was a quiet night in the small town of Lyris Creek. The moonlight touched the trees, and a soft wind moved through the empty streets. Ethan sat alone in his workshop, fixing an old radio that hadn't worked in years. He liked silence, but that night something in the silence felt strange. Like it was waiting. Ethan had always been curious about the stars. He built small telescopes and dreamed about the universe. But dreams had limits, and reality had bills. He worked as a mechanic, earning enough to survive, not enough to live. Still, every night he looked up and wondered what was out there. That night, his radio started to hiss with static. Then, out of nowhere, a voice came through, soft, broken and distant. "Ethan, can you hear me?" He froze, his tools falling from his hands. The voice was familiar, impossibly familiar. It was Lyra's voice, the girl who disappeared 3 years ago without a trace. Ethan's heart raced. He whispered, "Lyra, is that you?" The static replied with a long, heavy silence, then a low hum that made the lights flicker, and then the voice again, clearer this time. "Ethan, I'm coming back, but I'm not alone." Before he could ask anything, the radio went dead, the air turned cold, and a strange vibration rolled through the floor. Ethan ran outside, looking at the dark sky. The stars seemed to shimmer unnaturally, moving, bending, like they were alive. A flash of green light exploded over the forest hill. For a moment, night turned into day, birds screamed and flew away, and the earth trembled beneath his feet. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. He knew. She was back. Lyra had been the mystery of his life. She was different, always looking at the sky, asking questions that made no sense. She believed humans were not alone, and that one day, she'd prove it. Then one night, she just vanished. People said she ran away. Others whispered about kidnappers. But Ethan always felt she was taken. Not by men, but by something beyond this world. Now as the light faded, he saw a shadow walking out of the trees. It was her. Her hair was longer, glowing faintly in the moonlight, her skin pale with a soft silver tone, and behind her came something tall, graceful, and not human. Its eyes glowed like liquid gold, its presence heavy yet calm. Ethan felt his knees weaken. "Lyra," he said, almost a whisper. She smiled, but it wasn't the same smile he remembered. "Ethan, I told you I'd come back," she said softly. He wanted to run to her, to hold her, but his legs refused to move, his eyes fixed on the figure beside her. The alien woman. She was taller than any human, her skin like crystal, shifting between colors. She looked at him with curiosity, then with something like approval. "This is my mother," Lyra said, her voice trembling with emotion. "Your mother?" Ethan repeated, confused. "She adopted me," Lyra explained, "after I was taken by her people." Ethan tried to understand, but his thoughts spun like a storm. Aliens, adoption, voices through radios. It was too much. The alien woman stepped forward, her eyes bright. Her voice was soft, but carried weight, like the wind in a cave. "You are Ethan," she said. "I'm the one who waited." He swallowed hard. Nodding, she smiled, strange and calm. "You have a loyal heart," she said, "and loyalty is rare among your kind." Ethan didn't know what to say. He only knew that the woman, the being, made him feel small and exposed. Lyra touched his hand, and he noticed her fingers shimmered faintly. "Things are not like before," she said quietly. "I've changed." He could feel the energy in her touch. Warm. Electric. Alive. "You've been gone for 3 years," he whispered. "I thought you were dead." "I was," she said. "In a way." Then the alien woman spoke again. "My daughter has chosen you," she said calmly. Ethan blinked. "Chosen me? For what?" The woman tilted her head, her golden eyes studying him like a scientist examines a rare creature. For union, she said simply. Ethan frowned. Union. In your words, she continued. Marriage for a moment. The world froze. The trees, the stars, even his breath. Everything seemed to stop. Lyra looked away, her cheeks glowing with silver light. Ethan could only stare, speechless. He laughed nervously. This is a joke, right? The alien woman did not smile. On my world, promises of the heart are sacred, she said, and my daughter has made hers. Ethan took a step back. This can't be real, he whispered. You can't just... But before he could finish, the air shimmered again. A low hum surrounded them, and strange symbols began to glow under their feet. Lyra reached for him. Please don't be afraid, she said. You need to trust me. Ethan's mind screamed to run, but his heart told him to stay. Then, the light swallowed them all. The ground vanished, and he felt himself lift into the air, weightless. He saw the town below shrinking like a toy world. He wanted to shout, to demand answers, but his voice was gone. Only one thought echoed in his mind. What have I gotten myself into? The sky was gone and the stars were watching. Ethan woke up floating in a blue mist. It was not air, not water, but something in between. He could breathe, yet every breath felt heavy and sweet. His body was weightless, turning slowly like a leaf in space. When he opened his eyes, he saw a world that did not make sense. Above him were stars, but they moved like living things, swimming in slow patterns. Below him was glass, showing an ocean of glowing shapes that pulsed with light. It was as if he was inside a dream, built by someone who had never seen Earth. Then he remembered. The light, the alien woman, Lyra's voice. He shouted her name, but his voice came out soft, swallowed by the blue mist. A moment later, a door of light opened, and Lyra floated toward him. She wore a thin silver suit that shimmered like starlight. Her eyes glowed faintly. Not human anymore. But not cold either, Ethan, she said gently. You're safe. He wanted to believe her. But everything around him screamed danger. Safe? He said. You took me from my home. What is this place? She looked away, guilt flickering across her glowing face. This is the Ark vessel, she said. My mother's ship. Ethan turned slowly, seeing the walls ripple like water. They were alive, breathing with soft light. The air hummed with energy, and sometimes he thought he could hear whispers. Where is she? He asked. Your mother. Lyra hesitated, then motioned for him to follow. She's waiting, she said, and she's not patient. As they moved through the corridor, Ethan saw windows showing stars sliding by. He realized they were not near Earth anymore. The planet was gone. Only endless darkness surrounded them, filled with distant suns. A quiet terror grew in his chest. He whispered, How far are we? Lyra replied softly, Farther than you can imagine. They entered a large chamber that looked like a cathedral, made of glass and light. In the center floated the alien woman, Lyra's mother. She turned as they entered, her long form shining with golden threads. Her voice echoed like music. Welcome, Ethan of Earth. He tried to bow, but the gravity shifted, pulling him gently upright. I didn't agree to this, he said, his voice shaking. The alien tilted her head. You are here because the bond has begun. Ethan blinked. Bond? Lyra touched his arm, her fingers warm. It's not like human marriage, she said quickly. It's deeper. Her mother spoke again. When a child of my kind chooses a mate, their essence connects. Ethan stepped back. Essence? I'm not one of you. The golden eyes glowed brighter. You could be, the alien said calmly. You have the potential. He wanted to laugh, to scream, to wake up. Instead, he said, I'm just a mechanic. I fix engines, not souls. The alien woman smiled, faintly. Engines. Souls. All things that move need connection. Her words confused him, but something about them felt heavy. Lyra moved closer. "I didn't bring you here to trap you," she said. "I brought you to save you. Save me." "From what?" Lyra looked toward the stars outside the window, her face serious. "There's something coming to Earth," she said softly. "Ace, something my people tried to stop." Her mother raised her hand, and an image appeared in the air. A massive dark wave, swallowing planets, leaving only dust. Ethan stared in horror. "What is that?" "The Devourer," the alien said, her voice deep. "It consumes life and memory," Lyra continued. "When I was taken, they showed me what it can do. I learned things about humanity, our thoughts, our hearts." She turned to him, her eyes wet with silver light. "They believe only through bonding, through connection between our species. Can we survive?" Ethan shook his head. "You're saying this marriage thing is a way to save both worlds?" Lyra nodded. "If we connect, I can merge both energies, Earth's will and their strength." Ethan stepped back. "That sounds insane." "Insane," the alien repeated softly, as if tasting the word, "but necessary." "You were chosen," she continued, "not because of luck, but because your heart resisted despair." Ethan didn't know what to say. He thought about his lonely nights, his broken radio, his endless staring at the stars. Maybe they had been watching him all along. Then the walls began to tremble. The light turned red, and a sound like thunder rolled through the ship. "What's happening?" Ethan shouted. The alien woman's calm face darkened. "It has found us." Lyra grabbed his hand. "Mother, open the shield." The alien lifted her arms, and the room exploded with light through the window. Ethan saw something huge moving in space. Not a ship. A living darkness with eyes of fire. It stretched across the void like a storm made of nightmares. The alien's voice echoed. "You see now why the bond must complete." Lyra looked at him, desperate. "Ethan, trust me," she said. "If we don't finish the union, none of us will survive." Ethan felt his heart pounding. The ship shuddered again, alarms glowing in strange colors. He could barely breathe. "This can't be real," he whispered. But Lyra reached out, placing her glowing hand over his heart. "It's real," she said softly. "And you're part of it now." And then the floor vanished again. He felt himself falling, this time not through air, but through memories. Flashes of light, his childhood, his first look at the stars, all mixed together. Her voice echoed inside his head. "Don't fight it, Ethan," she said. "Let it in." And as darkness swallowed him, he felt the strange warmth of another mind touching his own. The memory of two hearts. Ethan opened his eyes and found himself standing in a place that wasn't real. There was no floor, no ceiling, only light, warm, soft, endless. He tried to move, but every step made waves of color ripple under his feet. It was like walking on liquid glass, and every color carried a sound, a heartbeat, a whisper, a memory. "Where am I?" he said, his voice echoing like 1,000 versions of himself. "You're inside the link," Lyra's voice answered, but it came from everywhere. He turned, and she appeared beside him, or maybe in front of him. Her body shimmered with light, like she was made of stars. "This is where our minds meet," she said softly. "The bridge between us." Ethan's head throbbed with confusion. He saw flashes. Her memories, her world, her first days on the alien ship. He saw her fear when she was taken, her tears when she realized she'd never see home again, and then her awe when she looked at the stars and understood their song. Her people had shown her how life connected across galaxies, but they had also shown her something darker. Worlds destroyed, species erased, the silence left behind. Lyra touched his hand, and suddenly he saw his own memories. He saw himself as a boy, fixing an old radio with his father. He saw nights under the stars, dreaming of life beyond Earth. He saw his loneliness, his quiet hope, and for the first time, someone else saw it too. Lyra whispered, "You were always reaching for something more." Ethan felt a strange warmth fill his chest. The link made every emotion stronger. His heart, his fear, his wonder. It was like standing naked in front of the universe. He wanted to pull away, but her hand kept him still. "Don't fight it," she said. "This is how we understand each other." Then the light around them changed, turning dark red. A low rumble filled the space. "What's happening?" Ethan asked. Lyra's face grew tense. "It's the Devourer," she said. "It's pushing through the link." Before he could ask how, the light cracked like glass. Through the cracks came shadows. Black shapes that screamed without sound. Ethan tried to move, but the shadows clung to him. They whispered things he didn't want to hear. "You're too weak. You don't belong. She will leave you again," he shouted. "Get out of my head." But the voices only grew louder. Lyra reached out, her hands glowing with silver light. "Focus on me," she cried. "Don't let them feed." He looked into her eyes. Bright, endless, filled with fire. The darkness pulled harder, showing him his failures, his regrets, his doubts. He felt himself sinking. Then Lyra grabbed him, pressing her forehead against his. "Remember who you are," she whispered. "You fix things, right? Then fix this." Her words hit something deep inside him. He remembered the workshop, the broken radio, his hands steady even when his heart was not. He closed his eyes and imagined the shadows as circuits, broken lines that needed power. He focused, felt light spark inside him. For a moment, he saw his own body glowing with blue energy. The shadows screamed and burst into dust. When he opened his eyes again, the world was calm. Lyra smiled weakly. "You did it," she said. "You stabilized the link?" Ethan breathed hard. "That thing, it tried to get inside us." She nodded. "It feeds on fear and connection." He frowned. "Then why connect at all?" "Because without it," she said, "we have no chance to fight back." The light around them began to fade. Ethan felt gravity return, pulling him down gently. When he opened his eyes again, he was back inside the alien ship. But something was different. He could still hear her thoughts. Faint, quiet, but there. Lyra looked at him. "The link is complete now," she said softly. "You can hear me even when I don't speak." Ethan nodded slowly. "I can feel you." Her alien mother appeared at the far end of the chamber. She looked at them both, her golden eyes shining brighter than before. "The first phase is done," she said, "but you are not ready." "Ready for what?" Ethan asked. "To face the Devourer," she said, "and what it has taken from you." Ethan frowned. "Taken from me." The alien raised her hand, and the room filled with images. A young boy with his father, fixing machines, laughing. Then the father leaving for work one morning and never returning. Ethan's breath caught. "That's my dad," he whispered. "He vanished during a storm, years ago." The alien nodded slowly. "He did not vanish," she said. "He was taken." Ethan's eyes widened. "You mean the Devourer?" Her golden eyes glowed like suns. "Yes," she said. "He was one of the first humans to be absorbed when it reached your edge of space." Ethan felt the world tilt, his heart pounding. He stumbled back, his hands shaking. "You're lying," he said. But deep down, he knew she wasn't. Lyra stepped closer. "Ethan, that's why I came back," she said. "Not just for the bond, but to save what's left." He looked at her, his eyes burning with questions, with pain. "Then tell me," he said slowly. "How do we stop it?" Lyra's mother looked at him with quiet pride. "By becoming what you were always meant to be," she said. The bridge between our worlds. The ship shook again, alarms echoing through the glass halls. Outside, the stars flickered as the shadow returned. Lyra grabbed his hand. her voice trembling. "It's not done yet," she said. He looked at her, then at the stars burning like dying candles. He took a deep breath. "Then let's finish what we started," he said. And as the light rose again, their hearts pulsed in the same rhythm. Human and alien, one. The universe watched in silence, waiting to see what they would become next. The bridge between stars. The ship trembled, like a living thing in pain. Red light filled the halls, alarms humming in strange alien tones. Ethan and Lyra ran through a corridor that seemed to melt and rebuild itself every second. Behind them, the shadow of the devourer spread across the stars. Its body was not solid, but made of swirling darkness and burning eyes. Every time it moved, the space around it cracked like broken glass. Lyra's mother floated ahead of them, her golden light flickering. "She's hurt," Lyra said, looking at the dim glow around her mother's body. "I am stable," the alien woman replied. Though her voice was weaker, Ethan could feel her pain inside his head, like static burning through the link. "What do we do?" he shouted. "We can't fight something that eats light." Her mother turned, her eyes calm even as the ship shuddered. "You can," she said softly. "You are the bridge." Ethan blinked. "I don't even know what that means." Lyra grabbed his hand, her grip strong. "It means your human mind can control both energies now," she said. "You can think like them and feel like us." Ethan felt the connection spark between them. A mix of fire and water, fear and hope. His thoughts and hers began to blur. He saw flashes of her childhood, her first flight through the stars, her loneliness before meeting him, and she saw his broken childhood, his quiet strength, his stubborn will to fix what others gave up on. The devourer roared outside, a sound that felt like time itself was tearing apart. The glass walls of the ship cracked, showing the endless dark beyond. Lyra's mother raised her arms, energy forming around her like wings of light. "If it reaches the core, it will consume us all," she said. "What's in the core?" Ethan asked. "The heart of the ark," she said. "The last piece of the ancient star that created my kind." Lyra looked at Ethan, her eyes wide with fear and trust. "We have to merge," she said quietly. Ethan's chest tightened. "Merge? You mean like—" "Yes," she said. "Completely." Before he could protest, the ship jolted again, and the walls turned transparent. They saw the devourer stretch 1,000 tendrils toward them, each one pulsed like a vein carrying hunger. Lyra's mother shouted, "Now! Bond your essence! Become the bridge!" Ethan took a deep breath, closing his eyes. He felt the energy rise from his chest, hot and endless. Lyra placed her hands on his face, her forehead against his. Their light mixed, blue and silver, swirling into a storm. The ship responded, its walls glowing, its wounds sealing. Ethan felt her heartbeat inside him, and his inside hers. They were no longer two minds, but one force. He saw through her eyes. Galaxies burning, worlds singing, the memory of the universe itself. And through his eyes, she saw humanity. Fragile but brave, small but unbreakable, together. They stepped into the air, floating toward the main chamber. The alien mother smiled faintly, her eyes bright again. "You were right, daughter," she said softly. "Humans are worth saving." The chamber opened to space, and they faced the devourer directly. It was massive, endless, its form shifting like smoke and fire. When it spoke, its voice was inside their bones. "You cannot stop me," it said. "I am hunger. I am the end." Ethan shouted back. "Then I'll be the first thing that refuses to be eaten." He raised his hand, and a wave of light burst from him. Not energy, but memory. The light carried images, laughter, music, the first sunrise, a child's smile. The devourer screamed, twisting. Lyra's voice joined his, her silver light wrapping around his blue. Together they became a storm of memory and emotion. The darkness cracked, and inside it, Ethan saw faces. Millions of them, lost souls swallowed by the devourer, including one he knew. "Dad," he whispered. The image of his father appeared. Faint, fading. "Son," the voice said weakly. "You found the bridge." Tears floated from Ethan's eyes. Turning into light, "I won't lose you again," he said. His father smiled. "You won't, if you save them." The image vanished, but the warmth remained. Ethan's heart blazed brighter than ever. The devourer shrieked, trying to pull away. But the bond between Ethan and Lyra tightened, their light fusing into one. They reached out together. Touching the dark mass, the energy exploded. Colors rushed through the void, blue, silver, gold. Folding into each other, the devourer screamed one last time and burst into 1,000 sparks. Each spark turned into a tiny star. Spreading across the black, silence followed. The ship floated in calm space. Glowing faintly, Ethan opened his eyes slowly, his body weak but alive. Lyra was beside him, smiling softly. "We did it," she whispered. He nodded. "We did." Her mother appeared behind them, her golden light now peaceful. "The bond has fulfilled its purpose," she said. "But your choice remains." Ethan frowned. "Choice? You can return to your world," she said. "Live as you were, or stay and become one of us." Lyra looked at him, her eyes full of hope and sadness. "If you go back, you won't remember this," she said quietly. "You'll wake up as if it was all a dream." Ethan looked out at the stars, the ones they had saved, and then at her. His heart ached, torn between two homes. Finally he smiled. "I spent my whole life looking for a reason to look up," he said. "Now I found one." Lyra's eyes filled with light. He reached for her hand. "I'm staying," he said simply. The alien mother nodded slowly. "Then, so it shall be." A soft hum filled the ship, and a new light bloomed outside. Stars formed again, brighter than before, and as the ship sailed into that ocean of gold, Ethan felt peace. Not the quiet kind, but the kind that comes when you finally understand who you are. A human heart, an alien soul, and a bridge between worlds. And far below, on Earth, someone's old radio crackled to life. Through the static came a voice, calm and distant. "Ethan, can you hear me?"